Hey, this is Steve.
This is Jeff.
This is Neil.
And this is Ryan.
Hey, welcome to Live from Midgar. We are at episode 44. And we just got out of finishing Saturday Final Fantasy event here. We played Constructed. We had 12 people. We had people from Canada, which was pretty cool. We had Barry, Alex Scott from, he writes the Mysidia Post, and we had Philippe, who was here, and they all played pretty well. It was fun.
That was nice. I'm used to being the person who drives the furthest to get here, so it was nice to be a local boy today.
Yeah, you lost.
Today, Ryan Chen came first place, so congratulations, Ryan. Woo! You won with Ice Earth, I believe.
That's correct.
All right. So what made you build that deck? Because I know you were playing just Mono Ice previously.
Right. So I kind of got bored of Mono Ice, so I built Earth Ice.
You were just too good with Ice now.
And then I told Drew I was playing something fun and new, and then I started playing like the normal Ice stuff, and he like never lets me live it down.
So this guy goes, "Hey, I'm sick of Ice. I'll just play Ice Earth."
With all of the with all the best ice cards in it.
So it's the same thing except adding Shantotos in there and
so I'm going
Jesse.
I know people like the Flan build, but I'm actually going the Scale Toad. So I just run 2 Scale Toads and the backup lock in case I need it.
Okay.
So
all right. So what's the focal point of your deck is still Ice, right?
right, it's mostly Ice.
Yeah. Its focus is on Sephiroth and.
So there's like a couple ways of playing it, I think. So it kind of depends on the matchup. I know a lot of people here play wind, like wind-based stuff. So then I just like try to play Skill Toad as fast as possible. And then like I can outgrind them because I have 3 Cecils and 3 Alsteins. So like if they just play out their stuff, and I just like wait for my good stuff to come out.
Yeah, tune in to the play-by-play on YouTube for our final round, and you will see Ryan do exactly that against a wind deck.
Yeah, we had John Galron and Ryan at the finals table, and they played it out. It was a very good matchup. I think John took the first one, but Ryan was able to come back and win both the second and the third one to remain first place. So it was a very good matchup, and we'll have that posted. Jeff was actually one of the other players who were playing Wind, and you were playing Mono Wind, correct?
I was.
So what was your? I know Wind. When we say it's Mono Wind, there's like tons of builds.
That's
like
true.
It's a lot of variants and stuff like that. So what is your focal point? What is your build like?
So I played. You can look it up. I played the first place list from UK Nats. It was. It had a lot of ability to chain together a bunch of damage effects. Chelinka, Fran, lots of Enter's play stuff for damage. Very strong foundation on Yuri. Used 3 Diabolos and no other summons.
Oh, wow. Actually, that sounds like a lot like John Galron's deck. Maybe John got it from the UK Nationals thing.
Could be.
I don't know. I mean, he might have updated it, but he was playing that deck before UK Nats launched. But it's changed. It definitely changed a little bit because John's running 5-drop Vaughn. He's running Yasmats and 5-drop Vaughn.
Yeah,
I'm
which is
neither of those.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
5-drop Vaughn was very strange to see, but
it worked for him a little bit because he still got value. Mostly, most of the times he played Vaughn, he would play it and he would get to attack at least once with it, giving it at least the backup. You get to untap 2 backups.
Yeah.
So he got full value out of it almost every time, I think.
And generally, if he didn't get the 2 backup count, which I think he might have gotten all but maybe once, he at least generally was able to pick up a third, the 3-drop that he played
was Balthier
Balthier, so that he could grab his Fran, or it got him some other type of value that advanced his board. So it wasn't just like, oh look, I played this 3-drop and Vaughn got killed. It was literally like he at least got some board advancement out of it.
So you played against John's deck. What do you think?
I think it's like pretty surprising because like I don't expect that when I play against his style of deck. Like Balthier and Van aren't cards that I really want to like kill with the Glacier or anything. They're just like chump forwards kind of. So like it kind of lets me in game 1 where I lost because I was letting him I had Shantota in my hand, but I didn't really want to use it just on like Balthier and Van. Like I wanted him to play like Barts at least. And then he was able to get Yasmat out in Y'shtola, and then at that point it was just like over.
Yeah, we were watching that game, and I think I think there was a Zidane, Balthier, and a Vaughn out, and I think you had like Sarah out or something like that, or guess
Garland.
Garland
Yeah.
out, and I think that was a prime place to play the Shantoto,
Yeah.
but he did not. And what happened was, John goes, "I play Y'shtola,"
Yeah. So-
and it was over.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how Ryan lost the first match, actually. And then after that, Ryan just steamrolled, I think, almost
Oh, yeah, it
both
was-
second and third matches.
Yeah, that second game was a little bit closer from the perspective of all three of them, but that third game wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was very good. And if people who want to watch it, they can tune in at the Geeky Villain YouTube site, and we'll have it up. So we actually have a lot to talk about, and probably the main thing that we all want to talk about, didn't get to last week or whatever,
Yeah,
is
Steve.
the Riku. Sorry, it was. Hey, man, I got a family too. All right, like this isn't it.
Sure.
like I know I'm in a lot of these videos, but this isn't my. I
I'm
got other shit too. All right.
I'm the only one that's allowed to have a family in this store, okay? Me.
I too am married. All right, I got a family. Anyways, so we want to talk about the Riku ban, and I know Jeff has a lot to talk about that. I believe, or was it the German one that you want to talk? Both.
Both.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We all do. We all have shit to say
I'll
about this.
yammer on about anything. Well,
Yeah.
Just put it in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Riku ban, Jeff, why don't you kick it off for us? Let us know how you feel about it, why it had to be done this way, or why it should not have been done this way.
Boy, that's a lot.
Just one of them. Answer one of them.
Riku has been tearing it up for a while. She was very strong in when I played. I played a lot of Earthwind in the last Opus. That's where I got my invite to nationals from. And Riku was a very strong part of that deck. Gave me a lot of reach against decks that I really wouldn't have. I would have had a much more difficult matchup against.
Like say mono water.
Yeah, mono water. That was. We identified that it was going to be one of my win conditions against mono water, and then that wound up being the deck that I played against for the Nationals invite. So Riku was very clutch in that matchup. And then it also was very strong against the dedicated mill decks, since I had access to a lot more sources of reactivation, and I could out-mill them. And because of all of the miners and Minfilias and Aparurus, I could do it through ninjas and archers. And then this opus, with the addition of the new Famfrit and Porum, the ability to make a control deck that just mills out your opponent was really put her above and beyond.
Yeah, definitely.
So with Jared Wallace topping Masters, what was that,
Yokohama?
about a month ago? Yeah, Masters Yokohama with it.
Yokohama.
I think they realized that control is an archetype that they're not really interested in having in the game, and so they decided to remove Riku from playability. And I do understand that.
You're playing Final Fantasy. You want to play your
Yeah.
characters.
I mean,
I'm frustrated.
it falls into a very similar thought process that Turbo Discard did, right? I mean, do you feel that way? I mean, do you think Riku was more or less oppressive than Thaumaturge Gesper?
I think she is a lot more oppressive than Thaumaturge Gesper. I think that they were banned because they presented a lot of unfun games that people just didn't want to deal with. And I think that opposed to that, Riku just makes a game style that the devs aren't really interested in having. So I think it's
control mill and
yeah,
control
like hard control where you don't care, you don't need to play forwards.
Yeah, because
So
I mean,
they're saying the way we designed this game is you're supposed to deal 7 points of damage, but the Riku mill is like I'm not playing the way you designed the game to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mill you out, and that is
It's supposed to be a character-driven game where you play out these really cool forwards and they have these great battles, and so when you just Famfrit everything that comes into play and then dull Riku every turn, that excitement that they're trying to capture is lost.
Interesting.
I mean, that was the whole idea. I mean, yes, not maybe as oppressive as Turbo Discard, but that's the same thing. It's literally like I'm going to make you discard everything, and you get to play one card a turn. And if I can kill it, then you got your guy. I mean, Riku did basically the same thing, which was, you play one thing, I play my Porum, I blow you up. Yay! I get my summon back. Oops.
Except it's a lot less reliant on top decking.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Ryan, what do you think about the Riku ban? I know you're not really much of a Wind player. I know you like Ice and all that stuff,
I mean,
but
one of the reasons why I chose to play Ice this Opus was because it's like one of the only elements that can deal with it, like without like teching for it. You pretty much just aggro them down.
It naturally is there. Yeah.
So you play like.
Just keep going.
Oh, you play Lock. Yeah, you play Lock and Genesis, and then you just keep like attacking them and making them discard. And you have natural summon cancel with Celas and Edward. So like, that's pretty much one of the best archetypes against it, I would say.
Yeah, Silent Verse is very difficult to deal with for the mill deck.
My question was Riku, though.
Oh.
What do you feel about Riku ban? I said I know you play Ice a lot. I know
Yeah.
that, but how do you feel about the Riku ban?
Like, I don't think it matters that much against Ice. I just think, like, that's going to make Ice the next target for a ban.
I think that's what the point was, is that it doesn't. He plays Ice because Riku was good, and now that Riku's gone, Ice is better.
Pretty much.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
I play Scale Toad now because I don't care about... I expect 6-cost fan for it, even less. So, like, okay. Now I'm just going to tax them to death instead.
Huh. Interesting. What about you, Neil?
I think it needed to go. I'm happy it's gone. I think that there are potentially still some cards. I know that there are definitely cards that are hunter type cards, or cards that prey on other cards, and I think that some of those cards need to stay. Like I think 3-Drop Zidane is a card that doesn't need to be banned.
I agree.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't think it does, because it does a number of things. I think the specific issue with Riku is especially with the fact that Wind wants to play this reactivation game, that every time you add more reactivation cards, you're limiting the design space and you're buffing Riku, and unintentionally, because every time you get more activation, Riku just gets that much stronger, and she is literally a single condition win con. You put that card in your deck, and it can win you games. It doesn't always, but it can in the right type of game, especially if it doesn't go quickly and you get into like a mid-range long-term game. It's just going to pound and pound and pound, and it just gets so much value. The other portion I think that Riku specifically also suffers from is that she's too damn easy to find. Like,
Searcher Pain.
You can search for her. There's Searcher Pain. There's Brother
and Shinra.
Brother and
Search and
Shinra can
Searcher
also
Pain.
search, and there's EX. Two of those are EX cards.
Brother can't search. Brother
can
searches for
search
4.
Searcher Pain.
Okay,
Can search
Brother
for-
can
yeah.
search for
Yeah.
So
So
I was about to say.
there's a pattern to get those cards. But I mean, like, if you look at some of the other oppressive cards that happen to be in the meta, they're not, especially from that level of power, they are not just basically like, I can almost guarantee I'm going to see a Riku in a game. If I'm running less than 3, I can probably still almost guarantee I'm going to see a Riku. And I'm not running less than 3 because Mug's a thing.
Yeah.
So,
I think Riku took out Mono Water as like a deck.
oh, for sure. Hands down. Mono Water is... It relies on resource generation and a slow build. I mean, it can ramp, but it's not the same as some others. And if they're designed to just kind of sit there and pound at you. And Riku's just like, I don't care. I'm going to take cards off the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, good. Mono Water should die.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Why do you feel about that? Why do you feel
I
that
don't
way?
know. I just don't like the deck.
You don't like mono water decks?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you not like go wide and play Cloud of Darkness? It's
I'm
boring.
playing Cognazo.
I don't
Okay,
need a
no,
reason for things. Thank you.
So,
All
Steve,
right.
what about you? What do you feel? How do you feel about Riku?
I'll be really honest. I don't know. I was thinking about it. And I was like, do I feel like this card needs to be banned? And I felt, no, I feel like it doesn't need to be banned. And then I think about it, and with the prevalence of Water Wind and Riku and stuff like that, and I feel like it's a little bit too dominant. But is that a reason for a card to be banned? But then again, Square Enix banned Thaumaturge and Gesper for hey, it's not fun anymore, so let's ban this shit.
And Dataluma.
So and Dataluma, I can kind of see with the new card and stuff like Lucretius. I can kind of see
Double
it.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see it, but I don't know. I feel like it didn't need to get banned.
Well, that's because like the whole package is so good. You have like Yuna, like by itself is insanely good. So then you're like, why not ban this card? It's like it's not like one card out of all like Valifor, Riku, and Pain. It's like they're all just good.
Yeah, they certainly are. But it doesn't have to be that Riku. Like, for instance, Edward was playing Water Wind today, and he was running the 2-drop backup Riku, the
With EX
the
burst.
EX burst
Yeah,
one.
that activates all your forwards.
That activates all your forwards, and it was perfectly fine. I mean, he wasn't his win. So he built his deck as my win condition is not to do something else, and then just in case I'm going to be milling you out. It was just I'm going to win this way. This is how I'm going to win. I don't need a backup, and so that's how he built his deck, and it worked fine.
He got me with it.
Yeah.
So do you think in these types of situations where you have a card, I mean, again, like I know that, Ryan and Jeff have not probably listened to every episode and they haven't been here for all of them. I've been here for more of them than most.
I've listened to most of them.
See, good.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I've said for a long time is that, or like one of the questions I've always posed is when we have a situation like this, what do we think is the better idea? Is it better to try and build into some elements or multiple elements, cards that are going to counter this? Like, obviously, Matoya, I think, was a good example for like the anti-discard in chapters, which was basically like if you discard a card, you get to draw a card, so that like you can hard counter some of those things. Because obviously, you have hard counters to summons, you have hard counters to all of these things. Discard doesn't have a hard counter. They discard you, and you just get to give up a card. Do you prefer to see bans like this? Would you prefer to see cards like counter cards for that in the meta, or would you even if they decided to make a counter card, would you call for a Riku to be unbanned? Would you just say like build a freaking counter in Opus 13 and give us back Riku?
Personally, I prefer soft counters. So nothing as dramatic as that Matoya. And you'll notice a lot of the counters that we do have, like stuff for summons and stuff, are things like Silent Verse, which counters a single summon. And I like that, where it doesn't just completely invalidate a strategy if you get it down. What I think would have been really nice to deal with the Riku situation is for more elements to get access to Archer Ninja type effects that could have dealt with it. Maybe even just something like return a 2-cost backup to the hand. Even something as soft as that.
You mean Sephiroth won't do? The 8-drop Sephiroth won't do? You can play that in any deck.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you can.
So, like, we have cards like Minwu and Aerith that can counter Dataluma, although, they can still be dealt with. And so I like that dynamic, where it's like there are cards that make things a lot more difficult for the deck. I would much rather see a prevalence of things like that give you interesting decisions when you're deck building, especially because you can discard these cards for CP in matchups where they're not relevant.
It's not like needing a sideboard where you have to like literally have a bunch of cards designed. You can run those.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think we'd see stuff like that? I mean, obviously, it seemed like Hilgagus was starting to make some appearances to try and help deal with Riku.
Yeah,
sure. I mean, last
you know.
Opus, people were running all sorts of stuff to kill Cactuar, and so you saw a lot of Ranger, you saw Nash, you saw Psychom
Enforcer.
Wardens, whichever one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the 3-drop.
Yeah, the 3-drop.
Kill a 2-cost monster or less.
Yeah. I mean, Zell also kills, but it's fire, so we don't.
Less Zell.
Fire has gotten so. But that's a completely different topic.
Anyways, I don't know. I actually like soft counters as well. I don't think there is a need for a hard counter for Riku milling stuff, but definitely I think having more colors have access to backup breaking. It does. You don't have to give them like fucking a lot of stuff, right? But if you give them little bits so that they have access to breaking backups and stuff like that, I think
something that has to break itself and be a unique name, so it's not like you can
like
spam
he was saying
something.
Archer is a very good example, giving that to all colors,
or even something a little more unique, like the lightning that takes an Odin from your break zone and puts it on top of your deck. Suddenly you have an extra card in your deck. It's slightly harder to mill you out. Make a couple more cards like that maybe. We can attack the problem from lots of different angles.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they just need more time because all these solutions are like print new cards.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, by the time we get to Opus 20, it won't be a problem.
One would hope.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll have new problems by then. Thank you very much.
So I actually don't know too much about this, but I know Jeff and you guys wanted to talk. Maybe not Ryan, but you guys wanted to talk about it. But in the German nationals
And
or
UK nationals.
UK nationals. There were some incidents that came up
last week, yeah.
last week. So please enlighten me about it.
So UK Nationals was run not by Square Enix, but by Asmodee, a French company who I don't.
a French company in UK, huh?
Yeah, they've got I don't know UK branch or something. They're the company that owns like Fantasy Flight Games. So they're like a big conglomerate.
Okay.
And I think that their communication with Square Enix wasn't very good. So a lot of people who showed up for UK Nats who had buys given to them from various regionals that had happened around. So to set the scene, instead of the way that we do it, where like Crystal Cups and local qualifiers get you an invite to nationals, their nationals is just open invite or just open to everybody. And by winning those other events, you earn some number of buys.
Okay.
I
like that.
And I think
I
that,
like that.
each of these events had a minimum amount of players. I'm going to guess it was 8. Like that if you don't have 8 players at one of these events, you won't earn a buy. So the problem became that the tournament organizers could not confirm how many people were at several of the events. And so without that certainty, they revoked those buys.
That sucks for those guys.
Yeah.
So they just revoked all buys?
Not
No.
all buys, just the ones that they couldn't confirm. I don't
And
know
How many?
I don't know.
How many were revoked then? How many buys were revoked?
At least 5 or 6.
There was
Wow,
all
that-
kinds of stuff. There were people getting losses instead of a buy. Like,
Wait, what? People were getting losses
I think
instead of a
one-
buy?
I think I read that one person got a loss instead of a buy.
That's the worst. You're supposed to get a free win. You're just like, no, you got lost.
They had like emails from the EU manager, like Tim Schilder.
Yeah,
And that's not
some
proof?
of them. Some of them had emails that were like, "Yes, you do have a buy from this event," and that wasn't considerable enough proof to get that buy.
wow.
My teammate James Greaves had one of those.
I'm
and
also a teammate.
They
No, you're not.
and so even though he had demonstrable proof on his phone and his email that he had a buy, his buy was revoked, and he just immediately went on tilt and lost
Lost
pretty bad. He went 4-4. Was not happy.
That's commendable. I mean, it's not great because you're not
Yeah.
gonna go get to day 2 and stuff.
Yeah, but he had a great deck. He was super practiced with it, and he just was not
No,
was
not
mentally
there.
there.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way. I
Yeah.
mean, you walk in expecting to have a day off, a time off.
Yeah,
And if you
yeah.
show up late expecting that you're going to have time off or that you don't have to worry about it, and then we'll be like, yeah, here's your game loss or you're disqualified or like
you
tough
get a
luck
buy.
you get to play.
You don't get
Yeah,
your buy.
that
You
would,
need to play right now.
Yeah, that would probably mess with
Yeah.
my game too.
Yeah. So
That's unfortunate.
that was pretty frustrating.
There
also,
were some other incidents.
for some reason, it wasn't going to be streamed. I don't know. Like Square Enix's stream software was in use somewhere else. I have no idea where it was being in use. I don't know why it wasn't there.
Maybe the Japanese tournament.
I don't know. Like if they just ship their streaming stuff across seas like that. Anyways,
I mean, it would
we
seem par
got
for the
one
course
unit,
sometimes.
guys. We just got one unit. The whole world.
there's one camera. Square Enix can afford one camera. Anyways, luckily there was a volunteer team that with 24 hours notice, they volunteered for it. They managed to get the stream up. They missed the first round, but they got everything else. They did a great job. So I wanted to commend them for making that happen. I was really excited to be able to watch an event that 2 of my teammates were playing at. So that was a blessing.
Yeah, it's really good that happened because I definitely, from what I've seen, especially in the Geeky Villain videos and stuff like that, a lot of people do enjoy watching the versus videos and stuff like that. So streaming is, I think, very essential to get to get the popularity out there, to get the information
and
out
even
there.
to build the community. I stay up late and shitpost on Discord about all the streams. I did that last night. I stayed up until 8 watching the Crystal Cup in Thailand, just totally talking all kinds
trash.
of yeah.
But I mean that's part of being in an active community and growing this thing. I mean, especially like Square has maybe done a better job. I don't know if I'm willing to give them they have better job trying to make sure that this game is promoted, but it has for a long time felt very grassroots. And so right now, I mean, that's how games are growing right now. They're not growing. Yes, there's advertisement, but a lot of it's by people that are doing it and getting it out there and like just getting in front of people.
I definitely agree, especially up here in the Northwest. I feel like it's very grassroots still. I don't feel like we're getting, we get like ton of support. I mean, granted, we do appreciate, the promo cards and some of the events are sponsored by Square Enix, but
like if I looked at every card shop in the area in Seattle and I chose like 5 or 6 at random, if I walked into most of those and be like, hey, did you know that Final Fantasy has a card game? I guarantee you most of them would be like, what are you talking about?
That's a running meme in our Discord. That every single time that Square Enix streams on like their normal channel, they usually run like 14 content on, or every time that it gets mentioned on some Twitter guy,
it's like, oh my god, there's
mentions
a card
Final
game?
Fantasy, someone is like, oh my god, there's a Final Fantasy card game? I had no idea. Every single time.
Yeah, I honestly think they also have, like Magic. When you look at Magic, they send, I believe, Wizard of the Coast sends like these little props and stuff like that to the store. Yeah, posters and all this stuff that they send out. And I feel like Square Enix can up their game a little bit.
I want some posters. You could put some cool stuff on that.
I mean, we do get like the pre-release posters and stuff. Those are okay, I guess. But anyways, we feel like we would like a little bit more support. But also we're doing fine, but a little bit of support would be nice.
But we're also probably asking for those things, whereas like they're not being handed to distributors, being like, "Here, give these to people."
Yeah, just
like
throw it at people.
Especially if things are coming in a trickle. Some places are willing to get them and then be like, "Oh, well, I know that these stores are running, so here." But I don't think that's not what. Everyone needs something. Like it needs to just be a fountain.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, speaking about, Square Enix and, their events and stuff like that, we actually are going to have Earth Crystal Cup, which is in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And that is in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? 2 weeks.
3 weeks. It's on the 14th and 15th.
Okay. And we actually have 2 people who are going to be going and representing the Northwest. We also have Stephen Bambick that will be going, representing Northwest as well. Do we know anyone else who are going?
Some of our Oregon buddies are coming.
Yeah, 2 of our Oregon friends are coming down. Josh Cavan, who I played round 1, day 2 of the last Crystal Cup, or the Crystal Cup Water.
Yeah, Water Crystal.
And Ben Fimisone, who beat me in round 6 of the Petite Cup to make top 8.
Okay, so they will be coming as well. Okay, sounds good. I hope you guys do extremely well. How do you guys feel about like the draft? You guys, I know you're probably excited.
I'm excited
for
the draft. I'm making top 32. I don't care.
Jeff
I don't care what
draft.
I have to do.
Hates draft.
I really hope you make it so that you can experience the draft.
Me too.
I really hope for that. Ryan, how do you feel about it? Are you excited? You ready?
He sounds
ready to
jazzed.
kick some ass.
I'm like 50-50 on it. Like,
Where are you going?
What?
Where are you going?
I thought it'd be fun at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to judge like how good I am at draft because like we don't play draft that often.
Yeah,
and
it is expensive.
It is expensive, but also like when I do well at draft, I'm not sure if it's because like I did well at draft or because people are like trying to take the money cards,
or because the rest of us suck. Did you just put together a semi-coherent deck and the rest of us are just like, I'll take another ace.
I like ace.
But I mean, if you're running 8 aces,
Well, definitely, Ryan. I believe the more you talk to Jeff about draft, I'm sure that you'll get better, and I'm sure you will do. He'll talk your ear off about drafting when you guys are rooming together at Earth Crystal Cup.
Whether he wants to hear it or not.
But definitely, I do hope both of you guys make it to day 2, and I hope, Ryan, you actually qualify for the Nationals.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to the Dark Crystal Cup, so hopefully I'll see you guys all there and everything. So I think that's it.
Well, you won't see me there.
Because you already got it.
I mean, I won't see you there, but I'll see you in LA.
I'll be in
Look
LA.
at this guy.
Sure,
It's like,
sure.
I'm too good for the Dark Crystal Cup.
Oh, so you're not going to Nationals at all now?
I'm too good for the Dark Crystal Cup.
You won't see me in the Dark Crystal Cup.
Anyways, Jeff is definitely going to Nationals, and I hope that Ryan and I qualify to get to the Nationals as well. But this is it. Arizona Crystal Cup, the Earth Crystal Cup, and Dark Crystal Cup will be the only ways here, anyways. The people here will be able to qualify for Nationals in LA.
And then Worlds.
Also in LA.
Yep.
I think it's like right around November, right before like
It's like
Thanksgiving.
The week before.
Yeah, right around Thanksgiving, I believe. World is at. So, anyways, would you go to Worlds if you qualify?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Okay.
Well, they're paying for the flight.
Yeah,
too,
they pay for airfare,
So
so that's
It's
easy.
pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
They're getting away pretty cheap for if one of us qualify because they only have to pay like
$200
like $200 tickets.
There was
while
a-
there's
there was a
people
guy-
coming from Thailand or where's
Japan.
like Singapore or whatever, and they'll be paying $1,000+ for their
Oh no, the
flights.
best was year one when it was in the UK. Somebody lived literally a mile away. They paid for his bus ticket to Worlds.
not even
Well,
a taxi.
Wow.
Not even a taxi. Cheese. You just get a bus pass. 50
And
cents.
it's gonna be the cheap bus too. It's not even gonna
Yeah.
be nice. You're gonna have to sit with all the derelicts.
Well, anyways, thanks for joining us at Live from Midgar. We hope to see you next week. Join us for we're gonna have
maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Why? Why maybe?
I don't know that he can attend for sure. Unless you're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
something
I
else.
was about to, but now
Okay, yeah.
I thought he was coming on. Okay, well, join us next week. We're still gonna have a Live from Midgar. We may have a special guest, and also we will have PAX. I believe will be going on in Seattle, so we might have a little bit less of a crowd and stuff like that, but we will definitely have a lot to talk about. So join us next week. And this has been Steve.
Jeff.
And Neil.
And Ryan.
Thank you.